Hello, my name is Paul Priestley. Welcome to Art Tutors Online. This is the second in my series for absolute beginners to drawing. In the first video, you saw that we looked at 4 things you needed to know. In this video, we're going to look at 2 things you need to practice. Yes, it's very simple. You need to hold your pencil and you need to move your hand in this direction, and then you need to flick, flick, flick like that. We're going to put those 2 things together and we're going to create some interesting drawings. So, why are we waiting? Let's make a start. Come on! I'm going to use an 8B Derwent drawing pencil. It doesn't really matter which one you use, but what we're going to concentrate on first is creating these curves. So very, very small, tight curves. That's what we're looking for. Okay, so let's make a start on the curves. Now you'll notice what I'm doing is going backwards and forwards, creating the curves nice and carefully here, nice and strongly, nice and boldly. You see? And we can create a nice rounded effect. Even though the paper's flat, it looks rounded. Now, if we apply this idea to a very simple tree shape, I'm just going to draw a few lines here. This is going to represent a very simple tree. Okay, it's not necessarily a tree drawing, but it's represent a simple tree. Now we're going to start about here and we're going to start drawing the curves, just as we've done already. You see how I'm going backwards and forwards, making the curves quite tight, sometimes overlapping them, making each one slightly different, varying them, sometimes not quite so curved, flattening out. You see how it works. Now notice how it's made that whole section, that tree trunk, look as though it's leaning backwards. You see? And it's all suggested by using line. So we do the same thing here. You see the line now. Look at now, the line looks as though it's curving upwards. Okay? If I start again here, and some very tight little curves, getting wider and wider, pressing on a little bit harder, look at this. And then I'm going to move the curves in a different direction. It looks like a root, you see, going off in a different direction. And all this is suggested by the curves themselves. Put a few more little lines in, slightly curved, but in a different direction. You see how it works? And then I can just simply curve again. Look at this, you see? And then it flattens out. So you can keep doing this all the way along. Here I'm going to use wider curves this time. You see this part of the tree trunk? Very, very wide, then it gets very close and tight together. You see how you can suggest the different shapes and patterns of the tree just by varying the curves. Curves are wonderful to use. You see, look how we're doing this here. Okay? Now, we'll just go up here and finish off the top here. I'm not making this look like a real tree, so please don't say it doesn't look like a tree. It's just meant to show you how to use the curves. But you notice the curves are getting tighter now, as we would if we were going to develop these into branches. You see the idea? Now, if you wanted to put a little bit of shading on, then again, follow the curves. Just draw in between the curves. You see how this has been suggested here to suggest a little bit more three-dimensional effect by putting on a little bit of shading. But I'm just using line to do the shading. I'm not using flat shading. Do you see what I'm doing? Just adding more and more line. But you noticed how everything now looks curved. The line has told us that the thing is curved. Okay, let's look at flicks. Now, if you are going to draw the grass, it's really important that you flick upwards. The idea being that you follow the line of the grass. Okay? The grass grows upwards. You see, like that. But if you draw downwards, you get a big thick blob at the top, which you don't want. You want a sharp bit at the top where you flicked upwards. So always flick upwards if you are going to use draw grass. Flick in the way that the grass grows and you won't go far wrong. Okay, now we're going to apply this curve technique to a different type of tree trunk. This is going to be a palm tree. But we're also going to introduce a different idea here. Now, I'm going to introduce the idea of eye level. If you don't understand what eye level is, check out this video that I did, which explains all about eye level. I haven't got time to do it now. Okay, we've suggested eye level. That's where eye level is. Now everything above eye level this time is going to curve upwards. See what I'm doing? Starting very, very shallow curves and making the curves get more and more curved as you go further and further up the tree trunk. You see the idea? Now, below eye level, the curves curve down. Again, starting very shallow and then getting more and more curved as we curve down the tree trunk. Do you see the idea? See how this works? Just put a simple outline around my tree trunk here, but this is going to be the tree. Now you'll notice when I don't use eye level, the tree on the left leans backwards. When I do use eye level and I change the angle of those curves, you see the tree trunk looks much more vertical. So remember that, it's a good little tip to use. Now I'll just fill in a few little shapes here. You notice I'm just scribbling. I'm suggesting the top of the palm tree here. Right, we're now going to flick. Now watch, flick, flick, don't fiddle. Don't fiddle along the line, just flick it. Okay, if you're going to draw the leaves of the palm, then basically what you are doing is drawing lots of very, very thin triangles. So lots and lots of thin triangles, and try to vary each one. Flick again, you see, draw the lines along the triangle. Okay, you see, do it quickly, do it boldly. Okay, don't make it too neat. The tree isn't neat. Okay, another flick. Look, up and down, round, there we go. Be confident, be bold, that's what you've got to do. There we go. You see, looks really good. Now, you could even flick across and on top of another one. You see what I've done here? And I'm now going to press on harder with my pencil, make it darker, and actually draw over the previous one. You see? It makes my tree look so much more three-dimensional. Makes it look so much more interesting. You see the idea? So we've produced a really convincing looking tree trunk just by using curves and flicks. Now remember, flick up for the grass. Flick up, up, up. Don't forget, what do? You flick up, not down. That's it. So we keep flicking along here like this just to finish our little drawing off. Now you'll notice how by using curves and flicks you can produce some wonderful drawings. Practice the flick with your wrist, use your fingers, you see, to produce the curves. And then you'll produce a brilliant drawing. So don't forget to practice this and the flicking and bring the two together in your drawings. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and if you have, could you please give the video a like, and if you could subscribe to my channel, which you can see down here, that will be wonderful. If you would like to support the making of these videos, then please check out my Patreon channel, where you can find lots of interesting rewards in return for your patronage. That would be wonderful. Cheers!